Hey kids, question for you. When did we all forget to have fucking good manners? And I'm not talking about, the littler ones like, open a door for a lady when she's coming through, no hats indoors, don't fart in bed on your first date. Anyway, I'm talking about the pretty simple ones, actually. The ones that should be, though they are simple, fundamental. That, for the most part, the majority of us probably were taught at some point. I'm talking about please and fucking thank you! A little bit of backstory here. I currently work in public service and have worked in public service since the day I turned 14. And though, on a tiny side tangent, I really truly believe that every person who comes to a working age should have their first and or second jobs be in public service, and they should have to maintain that job for 1 year, or at least 6 months, depending on the severity of where they are, just so that they can get a good idea of what the fuck people are like. It would be a very humbling experience. Because people, friends, I love you, I do, but we're assholes. The majority of us are total douchebags when we go out. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about specifically my job right now is coffee house. Doesn't matter if we're talking coffee house, hotel, gas station attendant, the fucking grocery store, restaurant. It doesn't matter. We treat each other like shit in the littlest ways. And I don't understand it. Well, actually I do. Usually it's out of, the people who are the worst, 90% of the time, you look at it from the perspective of, okay, there's something seriously wrong in your life, and you are incapable of controlling that, so you're going to take it out on me. I get it. But please and thank you are not hard. And 90% of well, okay, that's not true. 90% of the time. What does that even mean? 90% of what time? Whose time? When? In my life, and in the lives of most of the people that I have in my personal life, use that word too many times, it was ingrained in our skulls that when you want something from somebody, you say please, barring a hostage situation or organ donation. And when you receive something, even if it's something you don't necessarily want, with the exception perhaps being chlamydia, you say thank you. If somebody, even if you're paying for it, see, at least in this country, there's this general thought that, well, I'm paying for this service, so I shouldn't have to say please. Well, you don't have to say please ever. It's just fucking nice. This person does not have to be nice to you. And here's the thing. If you've never worked in public service, or maybe you think you have, here's a tiny dose of reality. You know that expression, you can't please all of the people all of the time? Well, here's the catch. When you work in public service, it doesn't matter if it's food service, hospitality, if you are dealing with the people all day long, that is 110% your job. Your job is exactly that. It's to please all of the people all of the time. It doesn't matter how piddly-ass their problems, their sales, whatever. The little ones, the big ones, everybody has to be treated equal, and your job is to make their lives better. It is supply and demand, and they demand full service, and you need to give it. You need to supply it. And you need to supply it with a smile on your face. See, that's the catch. This is a two-way street, because I deal with people constantly who are give me, and then they're completely ungrateful for what you've given them. Whatever. Again, try to maintain that perhaps their lives are not as happy as they'd like them to be, so they're projecting the problems onto you and trying to control something. It's not fair, but we all do it. But it applies to service people too. My brethren, my brothers and sisters in the service world. We could say please and thank you once in a while too. I used to have a customer who would stop the world and hold up the line if you didn't say thank you to him for purchasing something. And this one's kind of a double-edged sword. The first time we saw him, He didn't hit me. He loved me. But the first time we ever saw him and had a problem, one of my coworkers was taking care of him. She rings him up, gives him his stuff. We're done. He's good to go. And he stops and he goes, wow, you could say thank you to her, the one who gave him stuff. And without skipping a beat, she goes, thank you for buying your donut. On one level, it was hilarious. On another level, it was really unprofessional. And on another level, it kind of raised an interesting question of, well, does she have to thank you? No, she doesn't have to thank you. You don't have to thank her. But it is common courtesy. From his perspective, he's taking the time to contribute to the business and subsequently her personal paycheck. So she could say thank you, though that's woefully pedantic. At the same time, he could say thank you that she gave him the things he paid for in a prompt timing, expert style. Everything she did was perfect about it, with the exception of that last little bit. So on this one, as far as I'm concerned, they were both kind of in the wrong, and this guy became a problem. Not a dastardly problem. He didn't turn into Snidely Whiplash and start kidnapping, girls and tying them to railway cars or anything, but he would do this constantly, and to the nicest employees. Like, I won't put myself down as the nicest employee, though I try. Push me too far and I will be a bitch. Not a stone cold bitch, but it will happen. But he did this to an employee that had never done anything wrong. She was the best employee we'd ever had, or at least one of them. And he nailed her just as hard as he'd nailed the other one. And I was like, oh boy. So, there does come to be this element of, well, why should I have to say please and thank you? Why should I have to say please to my waitress? It's her fucking job to give me stuff. That's true. She does not get paid enough. And she deals with assholes like you and worse than you all day. All day. And every day. So maybe cut her some slack. Or him. Or if, shit, even at Walmart, even in grocery stores. The other day, this guy's a wonderful person, I'm sure. I'm standing in line. Yes, I shop at Walmart. I don't want to. I do. I'm a terrible person. I know. Which actually brings me to where I'm going with this. Alright, so I'm in line. I'm in the express line. And I'm behind a dude who has bought, I think it was about 6 things. And he's royally chewing out this little cashier who I've never seen before. And I live in this town, so for the most part, I kind of remember faces. Never seen her before. She is this shy, mousy, sweet thing. She's handling him as best she can, but he is just berating her about how coupons are a scam and how every person on the face of the earth, all consumers, are stupid and idiots, and it's her fault. Everything that the big corporations, not just Walmart, all the corporations, it's all her fault. She's in on it. She knows. And how dare she expect him to pay blank full price for this shit that's not even all that good. This was his attitude, that she is 100%, she is the source. If he can get the message to her, it will crumble the foundations of all the evil corporations in the world. He is on a mission, and there's not going to be any convincing him otherwise. I've encountered these people before. We all have, I would assume. Internet! And she handled him as best she could. She said, sir, I'm sorry, I don't make the prices. And another employee, had dealt with him earlier and said, look, dude, we pay the same price as you do. We don't get discounts. And the problem with all this, okay, fine. He has every right to vent his frustrations with something. And though I question his motives, because, okay, you have every right to say whatever you want to say about anything, at least in this country. Which sometimes, might get you into trouble, because you forget that you do still have personal responsibility for the things that fly out of your mouth. And in this particular instance, him taking it out on this cashier, who has it far worse than he does, because, dude, you're shopping at Walmart and it sucks. She works there. And probably still has to shop there because she doesn't get paid enough to afford to go to anywhere else. I mean, not trying to assume that this girl is like, you know, in the poverty, you know, in the welfare lines or anything like that. But it's a pretty safe bet. She does not, excuse me while I adjust my foot that just fell asleep. She doesn't have any control. You and I know that. And I firmly believe that this gentleman, and I use the term loosely, I know he knows that. Or I assume, I would hope he knows that. Because if he truly believes that that girl is the one, is the key that he needs to break down and then suddenly everything will be better. A little unstable. But, presumably, he just wanted to bitch. Fine, bitch, go ahead. But if you're going to make it into a personal attack, which he did, on this poor girl who did not... Yeah, I was there for the entire sale. There was at no point... You know, she didn't start anything. She was just doing her job. If you're going to slip into just bitching at someone about your problems and you're going to take it out on them, and your specific complaint is about the store you're shopping in, don't fucking shop there! You still have that control. And, stopping for one moment, I took the time to say that, you know, I was in line behind him for the whole sale and that I'd seen how many things he had, because I also saw what brand he had been purchasing. This man went on a tirade, just attacking this poor girl on a late on a Sunday night about how Walmart is evil, and how all the people who work for Walmart are evil, and how she is evil, and how he knows that she is responsible for everything, and she knows the secrets, but she's too cowardly to say anything. All of this while he's buying great value brand items. If your complaint is Walmart, A, don't shop there, B, don't shop for specifically Walmart brand items. Yeah, and if it's you can't afford anything else, guess what? Get in line! Right behind the girl who you're treating like shit. And it's that absence of... I don't even know what it is. Because again, this guy's obviously frustrated, he's got shit going on in his life, whatever, we don't know what it is. And as the customer-server relationship can be a very intimate one, but there are typically boundaries, and it's usually not okay for her to just go, "Sir, can I ask what's wrong in your life that's got you just jumping down my fucking throat?" Yeah. Usually that gets you fired. Or it makes lifelong friends. I've been lucky enough to have the latter happen numerous times, but nevertheless. So it's that attitude, the I don't have to be nice to you, I don't have to say please to you, I don't have to say thank you when you give me stuff. Well, I don't have to say please to you because you're paying me for this, so whatever. Y'all. And admittedly, we all slip once in a while, but in general, please and thank yous were not things that our parents, you know, guardians, people we fucking know, they didn't hammer it into us and don't continue to do so just for fun. Honestly, think about how nice you feel when somebody actually sincerely says, "Oh, thank you for doing something for you." It doesn't matter if they should have done it all along, if you saw it coming a mile away and you weren't really super thrilled about the product or the result. Crinkly bag! Or if it was something that completely blindsided you. It doesn't matter. Saying thank you is just something to do. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's not something that any amount of money is going to give you an excuse to not do. You know, there's not an amount of money that you can donate or contribute that will act as a doctor's pass in gym. You know, it's not like you can go, "Oh, sorry, I paid $50, I don't have to say thank you. Sorry." That doesn't apply. And the same goes for please. Okay, fine, this person is paid to do this for you. They don't have to do it nicely. And they don't have to do it well. Bear that in mind. And if you can't see what the people are doing behind closed doors, I think most of us have seen the movie Waiting. Yes, it was satire, and yes, it was, you know, an extreme dramatization. But it's something to consider. But yeah, anyway, there was no real immediate and direct catalyst behind this. It's just something that annoys the crap out of me every day. And not even to me personally, if I give somebody something and they don't say thank you. It's one of the locations I work at is also in a bakery, and just watching the way people interact with all of us servers. If you're gonna treat us like shit, okay, fine. We'll try to maintain that. Yep, you got your reasons. They're not good reasons. They're not justified or justifiable reasons, but you got them. But just say please and say thank you. Your life will be done. You can go that way. I can go that way. We'll be done, but we'll be happier for it. And I will do the best I can to reciprocate. So, yeah. People of the internet. All, wow, 40-something of you now. There were 50, but yeah, somebody went bye-bye. I'll be surprised if more of you don't. But, folks, let's all be nicer to each other, okay? Let's all have some good fucking manners. I'd like to end this on a burp, just to, kind of completely take the wind out of everything that I said. But I'm not going to. I'm going to take the high road and be mature. And I've got no burps in me, so. Anyway. Thanks for watching, and go be nice to people, please. Go mind your P's and Q's. Well, actually, no, it's not mind your P's and Q's. It's say please and say thank you.